let's talk about. Let's have you kind of reiterate what you talked about a minute ago about the troops being pulled out and the timetable for that in 2016. You certainly don't think that's a very good idea right now.
Well, I've never known a successful military campaign where you put a date for withdrawal. The good news is that we've done such a good job in Afghanistan, we can withdraw most of our troops. The 9,800 number was on the low side, but acceptable. But what's killed us is telling the enemy we're going to completely withdraw in 2016. The Taliban are very much alive and well along the border of Pakistan and Afghanistan. The fact that we won't have any counterterrorism troops in Afghanistan, the place where 9/11 was planned, just absolutely is dumbfounded. Just think of how many deployments the Marines in this area have made to that part of the world. They've done their job. Now President Obama as Commander-in-Chief has made a huge mistake. Capital and investment will flow out of Afghanistan and Al-Qaeda will flow in. Look at what's going on in Syria, 26,000 Al-Qaeda fighters in Syria. Look what happened in Iraq. We didn't have any troops behind and Al-Qaeda came back. My goal is to make sure that the Afghans can win the day against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, and once you convince the Taliban they can't win on the ground, they will reconcile. That's what the follow-on force was about. It was an insurance policy to make sure Afghanistan is never used by terrorists to attack America. Basically, Barack Obama canceled an insurance policy when we need it the most.
Obviously, a lot going on with the VA. None of it's really good right now. What are your thoughts about the debacle going on with the VA right now?
It will never be fixed until you empower the veteran. The money should follow the veteran. If the veteran wants to go to a VA facility, and there are plenty of fine ones around, let the veteran go there. But if they don't get good service, give them a card so they can go to a hospital or a doctor in the community of their choice. Create competition for the VA. The VA will get better or it will shut down under my proposal. My proposal is to give veterans choices beyond the VA. If the VA does a good job, the veteran will keep going and we will fund that facility. If the veteran turns its back on the VA facility in an area, we'll close it down. Empower the veteran. You will never fix it. General Shinseki is a fine man. Clearly, he's not on top of what's going on. The problems are deeper and wider than we all believed. People have literally died waiting. It's what will happen if all of us are herded into a monopoly. The VA has a monopoly over the veteran. They're not servicing the veteran well. They need competition, and the best way to improve the VA is empower the veteran with a card where they can go somewhere else if they want to. General Shinseki needs to resign, put somebody new, start all over.
Okay, I got two more questions for you real quick.
Yes, sir.
Recently, the funding was kind of cleared. Senate, you guys, and Congress kind of cleared the way for the port expansion going on down in Savannah. How does that affect South Carolina? Is it a positive thing for them or a negative thing?
We're all into this together. The Savannah port helps this part of South Carolina. There are people in this county that directly benefit from the Savannah port. Charleston and Georgetown are my primary obligations, but we're not going to be able to deepen the Charleston port without helping other people. As the Panama Canal expands and these major ships, Panamax ships 3 times larger than the ones on the ocean today, begin to come to the East Coast, if we don't deepen our ports, we're going to ruin our economy. So I think this is good news for the entire region. The ports of Charleston and Savannah are economic engines for the entire Southeast, and we need a plan to deepen our ports, and I'm very happy for Savannah, but I'm incredibly pleased for Charleston and Georgetown. We did very well in this water resources bill, and our entire delegation in South Carolina voted for the water resources bill, which was a great step forward.
And one final question: as you seek re-election,
can I add one thing about the ports?
Sure. Yeah.
There'll come a day when I think the Jasper port will be a reality. As Charleston and Savannah grow, I think down the road there's an opportunity to build a port at Jasper to deal with overflow and special cargo. So I'll look forward to that becoming a reality one day.
And one final question: as you prepare to try to get back in office and run for re-election, what is your, as far as this area, Beaufort, Hilton Head, Jasper, that area, what's your biggest concern? What do you think are some of the big issues facing them as you seek to get back in office?
Well, number one, the flood insurance legislation we passed basically let me start over. If it had not been for flood insurance reform, this part of South Carolina would have been destroyed. The FEMA maps were going to put almost the entire coast of South Carolina in a floodplain, which would triple and quadruple insurance premiums. We fixed that. We avoided a bullet to our economy there. The anchor of this community has always been the Marine Corps and the Armed Services. I will be focused like a laser of rebuilding the military. Sequestration, which starts again in 2016, will make it impossible for the Marine Corps, in my view, to modernize its aviation fleet. I want F-35s coming in large number to the Marine Corps Air Station Beaufort. I want to keep Parris Island open. That means you got to train enough Marines to justify 2 training centers. When it comes to the local economy down here, we're going to have to find a way to replace Obamacare because it's going to destroy private sector insurance. The coast of South Carolina is a cash cow for the state of South Carolina. The beauty we have in the Beaufort County area and this part of South Carolina has to be preserved, but I'd like to explore offshore for oil and gas. That could be a tremendous boom to our state economy for protecting the pristine nature of the low country of South Carolina and the Beaufort area. But my number one obligation and my number one goal when I go back is to get the VA right with the veteran and to save the Marine Corps Air Station in Parris Island from closure.